When we asked this question on a front porch one time, we had a bunch of people in the street. The first question was, why there's so many boarded up houses? The second question was, if there's so many poor families that need housing, why aren't they using some of these boarded up housing as low rent income housing? And then one of the women pointed to a house on a corner across from her place she said they had completely renovated it. They had put in new plumbing, new electrical, they drywalled it, and then 2 weeks after the thing was finished, they boarded it up. And she wanted to know why. So we're going to work on those questions. What are other questions like that you might want?
So one of the things I want to echo what he said, there's a lot of flight, and I think it comes from us kind of almost living in a somewhat of a bubble, because you don't really know that the same things are going on in other communities all across the country. And so you think that as soon as you can get out of here, you've already made a step up and you're going to make it somewhere. But then I've had a lot of friends that have left Baltimore and went other places and ran into the same issues they see here. It might not be as prevalent, but the same things happen everywhere. So I have a lot of friends that have recently taken a trip.
Well, what kind of questions we should look into?
Not sure on that one. Not right this second. Well, actually, I do have one. How is it that we have one of the biggest police departments in the country per capita, but the feeling of actual safety in the city is not there?
Well, let's talk about that for a bit. What do people think about the whole role of the police in Baltimore?
It's a waste of tax money, honestly. That's how I feel about it.
Well, I think that people are more afraid of the cops than they ever were, because, like, as a minority group, we feel like, well, in the case of black youth, I feel what I see is that they're afraid of cops because of the interactions they would have with them, not necessarily whether they get arrested or not, but that immediate interaction of a cop just looking at you or just trying to talk to you. It's kind of like being already interrogated, right? So I feel like it's not, well, it's mostly being afraid of the people that are protecting you. It's not that you don't respect them, but it's just like that fear that you have for them.
Who else? Yeah, go ahead.
Cops in Baltimore, I feel as though like they not doing as much of a big job as they should do, because it's like when you see a whole lot of crime in Baltimore and you walk the city streets and it's like, oh, you have these new boxes that claim that it's watching over the city, but yet you still see a whole bunch of crime going on. So I feel as though like some of the cops and some of the things that the police are doing is really not important, because it's like they're not in this, they not in the neighborhoods. It's like how they used to be. It's like they just going about their merry way or trying to mess with people that's not even that type of, like a hoodlum, because cops are quick to stereotype, like real quick.
I agree with what he said. I feel like and I'm saying all cops, but a lot of cops, they make the problem worse. You can be walking down the street and you will see, just because, I don't know, they could just be, I can be walking down the street and I'm dressed in my casual clothing, and they can just stop you and have something to say or want to provoke you to say anything. And when they do stop you, they provoke the crap out you. Like, for what? Like, I think about this whole thing with the guy they had arrested that was killed in police custody. I believe
the one in New York you're talking about?
No, the one that happened in Baltimore, right? Yeah, Tyrone West. I really believe that they should have been fired, or something should have really happened with that. That was really should not have happened. I don't care what you said and all this stuff. They should have been fired, or they should have been they should not be working and still getting paid for what they done. Just think about if it was the police captains. Was you at the school today when they had that town hall meeting about Tyrone West's family? I think about, the captain. What if we had your daughter or your son who was in the back of the car and they killed your son? You're the police captain. You would have had their hand. I mean, come on, let's think about it. And I really think it's just terrible. The police, it's like the police department? They have their own little government. They can do what they want. It's a brotherhood. They look out for each other. They lie for each other. They probably even kill for each other, as far as we know. and it's terrible.
Who else? Yeah.
I do agree with what he said because I think nowadays the cops think just because they have the priority over the city and they have the right and they're the law, they can do whatever they want and feel as though they can get away with it. And they don't think, they think, oh, I'm higher than this person. So a cop can probably come up to you and arrest you for no reason, or they can probably give someone a ticket on their car because they're actually parked where they're supposed to be, but they don't like that. And I don't think they have the right to do that. And for us, when we're trying to say like they don't have the right to do things, it backfires and it makes us look bad, and they look like the good guys and we look like the bad guys. So I don't think it's fair. A lot.
And I think an investigation.
Hang on one sec. Let's give somebody else a chance, but we'll come back to you.
Go ahead, Jennifer.
That's not my name.
It's Jennifer. I did say Jennifer.
I think there's a really dangerous disconnect between the police and the community, especially young people. And the reason why I say it's a dangerous disconnect is because look at the stories that we hear. Everyone, we have this really, it's a tension between the two. We have the community and, a lot of young people who we feel like any encounter with the police could lead to trouble, even if I didn't do anything, even if I'm innocent. And then on the other hand, when a situation happens when your cousin was shot in your neighborhood, no one wants to go to the police because they're afraid. And because we have such a bad disconnect with them, then you don't even want to call the police when something happens.
But they're afraid of the police, or they're afraid of what might happen to them if they talk to the police?
Because you're afraid of what could happen. But then you also don't have a relationship where you feel like you can go to them in the first place because you feel like they're going to, try to get you in some type of trouble. So I think it's dangerous because then it creates a situation where you have people in the communities. We've heard of the, stop snitching video situation stuff where, people aren't even, they hear of something happening and maybe they know who did it. Maybe they know, what happened on that particular situation. And then they don't go to police. And it's not until it hits home, until it's your family, your brother, your cousin, and then everyone's like, well, please call the police, say something if you know something. But then it's just paralyzing in those types of situations, I feel like.
I think the issue with that is because people can't trust the police and they'll say oh, it'll be anonymous, this is that and the third. But I have seen multiple situations where just not too long ago, this lady called the police on some guys who was just outside. They wasn't selling drugs. They was just outside. So she came outside and she was saying something to them. And the guy had told her, he was like, the police already told us that you the one who called on us. And he was like, I'm trying to be nice to you because I could really do anything to you because you called the police on me for no reason. And then that's when, I don't know, it's just odd that they'll tell you that you're safe, we're going to take care of you, nothing's going to happen, it's completely anonymous. But then they'll go out there and tell the same people that, they the one who told on you. That's just strange to me. And I don't know, it's just real odd. Because it's kind of like they don't care because they know that people get mad about stuff like that and they can break into your house, they can kill you, they can do anything.
I think it comes from years and years of cops having a bad reputation of just mistreating people in the city and just people not trusting the cops. Like, for example, in my neighborhood, there's cops around all the time, and they would just it can be people right here. They'll be doing something illegal. I don't know, like selling drugs or something. The cops wouldn't say nothing to them. So I'm like, why wouldn't the cops that's on this corner every day not say something to them? So that's when, I'm trying to think.
Well, let me ask you a question. You said it goes on for years and years. So why? Why doesn't it change?
It doesn't change because, I don't know. I'm gonna have to speak.
All right. What would you like to know? If you don't have the answer, what's a question you'd like answered in that?
Well,
I
yeah.
have one question. I want to know why there aren't more black cops, and why aren't there more cops that actually live in the city?
Well, I would just like to know why. if you're a cop and you're in this one area for a long period of time, why has the crime stopped in that area? That's what I wanted to know. Because if you see, say if you're just a lone cop, if you see something, you can tell people back at the station, you need to come check this out. Then this situation can become a real news story, and then people can really check up on the situation and then fix it. But that doesn't happen. So
I like to piggyback on what he just said about like how if you see like if the cops see somebody like doing something illegal, they don't do anything. I feel as though that's real crazy because I can be outside with a group of friends just having fun, just chilling. Me and my brother, we can just sit there and have a good conversation. We're kind of loud, but we're not causing any harm to anybody. But you could stop us and be like, "Oh, why y'all standing on the porch like at this late at night, knowing that it's our porch that we can sit on?"
What do you think of the curfew law?
I think the curfew law, in some cases, it's good, but then it's also kind of bad in a sense because it's like you making it seem like that's going to change the whole killing thing. People get shot in broad daylight every day, so it's like you making a curfew that's not going to help it at all with the
Who
killing.
here supports the curfew?
I support it to a certain extent.
Hang on, just give me a show of hands to start with. 2, 3, 4, 5. Support it. How many got? How many against it? Just about everybody. Anybody have made up their mind yet? You haven't made up your mind?
He don't know what it is.
The curfew law?
So 17 and up, you don't have a curfew. 14 to or 15 to 16, somewhere around there, you got to be in by around 11, I think, on weekends.
And if you are breaking curfew,
You get
you can be picked up by a policeman who takes you to one of these facilities. Not what are they calling these things?
youth. Yeah, it's like down the street that way.
A while ago?
Well, it's not. I don't think the curfew itself is new, but I think the age limits have changed and the enforcement, I think, apparently is going to change. All right, so you said you're for it. Why?
Because of the crime rate. Oh, I am for the what's it called?
Curfew.
All right, I am for the curfew law because I think it will help the crime rate go down. And if you have a curfew, if you have kids in the house in a safe place where nothing can go wrong, no one's out on the street and things like that, nothing bad can happen.
Okay, you said you're for it.
I'm for it, and then to piggyback what she was saying, I'm for it. If especially those kids, what's the age again? The youngest kids.
So, I'm just gonna read off the curfew law real quick. So it's children under 14 to be off the streets by 9 p.m. and children 14 through 16 will be able to stay out to 10 on school nights and 11 p.m. on weekends.
I think that's fair. Even if it is killing going on, it would protect those kids from the crossfire.
Okay, who's against the curfew? Kat, you want to? Let's have a little argument here.
So I'm against the curfew law because I think it's just another way to criminalize black and brown youth. We're already criminalized a lot, and I think it's just another way to lock up youth. And even in those like extreme scenarios where they're talking about like 4-year-olds out on the corner at like midnight that they're gonna pick up, that's not like something that happens every day. It's like kids that are just minding their business, hanging out with friends near their house, and they're not doing anything wrong. When really, if they're just out there like minding their business, you're gonna lock them up and potentially get their parents in trouble just because they were trying to spend time with their friends, not doing anything wrong. So I don't think it's right.
I'm looking from the aspect that parents don't want to be. A lot of parents don't want to be parents that much, and so I feel like if the child can go in the house early, then they will have time to be bond with their mother or father, or whoever's taking care of them. That's how I'm looking at it, and to keep those kids safe because things happen.
I'm against it because, like she's saying, it's another way to criminalize black youth, and I think, let's be real, if it's like 10 going on 11, and you got some 15, 16-year-olds outside in the corner, and the police pull up, they're not gonna want to go to jail. They're gonna probably run, and that's gonna make them look like more of a criminal, and then they wasn't even doing nothing wrong, and you already locked them up for nothing, and then that's just gonna start a whole new situation. And then if they want to retaliate against the police, then that's just a whole nother situation on your hands if you didn't talk to them or arrest them at all. So that's what I think.
All right. So how do you answer him?
I respond to that by saying, let's look at it in a positive way. Let's look at all the situations that are being avoided, and let's look at the way that the cops will just they will have like a lot of tension taken off of them because their job will be a little bit easier because they're not riding around at night, sirens going off at late nights and things like that. There wouldn't be like a lot of people getting snatched up and killed. Wouldn't be a lot of things happening in the dark. Whereas though during the day it's a lot safer in some areas and sometimes not. It's a lot safer because you can see things clearer. And at night they change the street lights, so you can. My street is really dark. They changed the street lights. I don't know why. So now like they're like a tint blue, which is like 10 times darker than the yellow lights they had on my block. So it's actually safer to be in the house in an environment where like you don't have like you if you want your friends over, it's summertime, just have them over. Come sit on your porch. They don't really mess with you when you're on your porch. Now when you walking around at late night, it makes you look suspicious though. Even though no one should have that mindset to go and jump someone else at night. People should have that freedom to walk around. Like no one should think that they are like that important to like, yeah, I can just go beat someone up at night. Like no, like people should be able to walk around at night. Sadly, this is not the city for that. We cannot do that because some people don't think like that. Some people do think negatively, and some people do want to harm other people out of like nature. Like I don't know why, but yeah, that's what I think. Like
Yeah.
So rebuttal to two of your points. One, the police are the ones enforcing it. So they will be driving around at night, and that will automatically cause tension because particularly 14 to 16 in that age range, they're not going to listen to anybody that is not their parents. So that's going to cause an interaction which will crowd the police to use force, which will then turn into a criminal thing. Point number two is you cannot sit on your porch.
I can.
No, you can't.
I can.
No.
Literally, I have seen cops ride
No,
past me.
so the curfew law takes place. The new curfew law comes into effect August 4th. You are not allowed to sit on your porch. You're not allowed
You're in
unless you're
violation of curfew if you're sitting on your own.
unless you're
porch.
outside with your parent. You're in violation.
I didn't know that part.
I didn't know that. It was,
I didn't know that. Like it was that
I-
extreme. I just
you-
didn't think you could be actively walking around playing baseball at night.
But also,
And card people. So it's like if you just like if you not even 17 and you out there, but your age is basically you 17. They don't even ask like how old are you or ask to see your ID. They just automatically think, oh, it's the curfew law. Let me see why is he out here, and then try to go ahead and start to mess with you because of your being outside. So I feel as though that's why I'm against it, because most of these cops do not card people and don't ask for age at all. They just want to mess with you so that you can go in the house or hop in the car with them and go down to the station. Period.
Another curfew supporter, bet.
Oh no.
You for or against it?
No, I want to change my position because I just remembered that I want to say that like the curfew law affects like the youth in Baltimore, but the killing doesn't necessarily happen within that age range. I think the age range of like people dying is from like mid 20s to like not early teens, but like around 19 to like your mid 20s. So even if the curfew law was in place, it wouldn't necessarily.
Well, if you talk to the city councilors who support this, they don't say it's going to lower crime rate, but it will get young people off the streets who might be caught in the middle of crime. That's their argument.
Because I've driven through neighborhoods on my way home at night, and I see like 6 and 7 and 8-year-olds riding bikes. Granted, they may be riding on the street of their house, but they're by themselves. So those aren't extreme cases where you rarely see. I see little kids, not just 14, 15. I see little children outside by themselves on the street, and while they may not be the ones or even the teens who are doing the killing and the violence and different things in the neighborhoods around those times, but they can be caught in the crossfire if there's a drive-by with older people who are shooting and or fighting or any of those things. Those younger kids and those teens could get caught in the crossfires and be just an innocent bystander.
So, are you for it or against it?
I'm kind of in.
Because I want someone to respond to her.
So I agree with her. I'm going to say we're teenagers, we're adolescents. When you get to that certain age, you're going to do things that are going to make you look like, why are you out here? So, like she said, little kids out late at night. That's not safe, whether they're with their parents or not, because there's violence around, there's stuff going on, and I think the curfew does improve some things, and then some things it doesn't improve, because they're judging everybody by society. Every 14, 16, 17, 18-year-old or 6-year-old, 7-year-old isn't the same way. They don't always have to go outside and cause a ruckus. They can just sit outside on their porch without even doing anything. So I don't think they should be biased in putting us in selections.